If you want 2025 to be your year, you are ready to receive the life that you've been creating and dreaming of. Here are my top 10 ways to ensure that 2025 will be your most abundant and successful year yet. Number one is to commit to a continuous practice of self-celebration. Being hard on yourself is out. That is a thing of the past. When you are hard on yourself, it's actually just an indicator that you lack self-mastery, because it's easy to be hard on yourself and it's hard to be easy on yourself. It is way less difficult to focus on all of the things that you need to improve, and it is harder to see all of the progress that you've made. Especially if you're a very ambitious or driven person, that means that the needle is always moving and you're always seeing, oh, what could I do more? How could I be better? That is a beautiful thing, but in 2025, we need to realize that thinking like that actually just holds you back. It is so imperative that you cultivate an inner world that is a safe place to be in. Being able to cheer yourself on is actually an advanced emotional skill. Most people's natural tendency is to think that they're going to go further if they berate themselves, but it's actually the opposite. When someone else points out the thing that we're doing well, it makes you want to do it more. And when someone points out the thing that you're not doing well, does that encourage you? No, it doesn't. But the thing with self-celebration is that we're literally going against biology. Our natural instinct is to look for all the problems so that we can survive. It's literally like a physiological response. So overcoming it, and that's why it needs to be a continuous dedication to the practice of being kind to yourself, the practice of blessing yourself, speaking positively over yourself. Like, I know that if I meet someone who is positive and who thinks well of themselves, oh, they have done the work. They have done the work. A couple of examples are to literally practice in the moment, speaking out loud, like, oh, you did a great job on that, or excellent work. See yourself. Be the person who sees and understands and knows how every little thing that might be easy for someone else, but it's difficult for you, like, point it out. Be like, good job for answering that email. I know how hard that was for you. Good job on getting out of bed and making your bed. Like, that was hard for you. Instead of comparing yourself, oh, well, that's normal, I should be able to do that. Like, no. One big mistake that I see with the clients that I work on is that when they do something that is hard for them to do, but they perceive it as something that they should just automatically know how to do, they don't actually give themselves credit. And because of that, it keeps them in this negative headspace, and then they're way less likely to do it in the future. But if they take a moment and say, oh, it's hard for me to wake up past 1 p.m. and I woke up at 12 today. Like, great job. That person goes so much faster and gets to their goals so much faster than the person who says, well, yeah, but my goal is to wake up at 8 a.m. every day and I'm still waking up late in the afternoon. Like, that never, ever helps them achieve their goals. It is so hard to convince people of this. I have no idea why, but people are just so skeptical. People think that being hard on yourself will actually help you go further and faster, and it never does. People feel so silly and uncomfortable saying, wow, you look good today, to yourself. Like, they find it pathetic, but it's not. It's literally the sexiest, hottest, most skillful thing that you can do. Number 2 is to develop a bias for action. This is something that I am so determined to work on in the new year as well. The quicker that you act, the faster you get to where you're trying to go. In psychocybernetics, Maxwell Maltz uses this analogy of a heat-sinking missile. A heat-sinking missile will see the target, but it's not just a linear line straight to the target because the target's always moving. It's actually a series of mistakes. It goes one direction and then it course corrects, another direction and it course corrects. It's just a bunch of different course corrections until it finally gets to its target. That's how reaching any of our goals is. We need to be heat-sinking missiles. But instead, a lot of us are like, okay, well, what's the best path to the target? Should I go left, then right, and then right, and then left, and right? And it just keeps us exactly where we are instead of getting up, stumbling, and failing. People, we are just so afraid of making mistakes. We're so afraid of witnessing our own failure. We cannot tolerate it, which is why another really important emotional skill is just to be able to tolerate emotional discomfort. But if you train yourself to want to just act and then figure it out along the way, you'll get much further. Number 3 is to bless the aspects of your life that you want to change. This one is interesting because I feel like the word blessing seems a little bit more religious, but let's just take religion out of it entirely. Like, what is it to bless something, right? It's to speak life over something. And I really think that the art of blessing is something that the modern world could use more of. There is this Celtic priest, his name is John O'Donohue. He died in 2008. I have one of his poems memorized. He had a episode on Being by Krista Tippett. I've listened to it over and over again. It's just so beautiful. I'll actually link it in the description because it's one of my favorite podcasts. He's just such a beautiful soul. He talks about the topography of your inner world. Oh my gosh, it's literally so incredible. But he has this book of blessings, and it's just such a poetic and beautiful way of like speaking life into people, especially during transitions. It's like for a new mother, for someone in leadership. And I think that if there's something in our life that we don't like, we tend to say and think negative things about it. Like, oh, that person in my life, they're so difficult, you know, like maybe family members or like your financial situation or your health. But what happens when you're thinking and speaking negatively about something? Does it grow? Does it flourish? Like, I even think about social media. Whenever somebody says, oh, I hate social media, the algorithm hates me, I hear words like that, I know that they're not going to grow. Because why would something that you hate respond back to you with flourishing and growth? That makes absolutely no sense. So if there is something in your life that you want to change, you have to speak life into it. But let's take something like financial debt. Nobody thinks of like credit card debt as something that they're wanting more of. But speaking blessings over it, like, I bless my debt. I thank it for all the ways that it's supported me in my time of need. I bless my bank account. I bless my revenue streams. I bless the clarity of mind that I need to figure out different ways in order to remove this debt from my life. The power to transform your life really does start with how you speak about it, because you're directing your energy and intention towards something positive. Number 4 is to master somatic expressions of self-love. Self-love is not just something floating in our head. It's not just something that you think. It doesn't live up here. It gets into your body. It's things like morning routines, evening routines, answering your emails even though you don't want to, self-discipline, budgeting, exercise. And you can practice this in all of these little ways, and none of them are insignificant. Significance is a bunch of tiny little movements stacked. For instance, like, I used to think of doing my skincare in the morning and in the evening as like something I needed to do. It was discipline. I was gonna do it no matter what, right? And it was just this thing that was really, that I kind of like had almost like negative connotations with, like, this is something that I have to do because it's good for me. But then I started thinking of it as a luxury, like, wow, what a amazing, I just started speaking differently while I was doing it. Like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to just be able to take the time to double cleanse my skin. It is so nice to just to be able to like really be in this luxurious moment where I get to take care of my face, right? If I lived on the streets or if I had a situation other than this, I wouldn't have that luxury. This really is a gift. It's a privilege. It's a luxury. And I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful for this opportunity to take care of myself in this way. Oh my gosh, my experience of it completely changed. I just feel like doing those small little things, it's like being your own boyfriend, like really paying attention to the things that you really love, the things that you really care about, and then just doing it for them because it's cute and it's nice. Like, that is so beautiful. And that is an embodiment of self-love. And of course, you can't distill self-love down into a few different things. So literally each and every one of these points could probably be a whole separate video. But for now, I'm just going to give a cursory explanation of all of them. Okay. Number 5 is taking radical responsibility for everything in your life, even how other people treat you. I can tell what a woman thinks about herself by the partner that she chooses. Each and every one of us is responsible for the treatment that we accept, what we put up with, what we allow in our lives. I might not have been the person to throw myself in the river, but it is 100% my responsibility to get myself out. And it can feel so overwhelming to be like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do that? And it's also a power move. If you sort of switch your mindset to say, no, this is an empowering thing for me. I have full agency over my life. I have full creative direction over my life and how I overcome these obstacles. I'm thankful for my obstacles because I get to prove to myself that I'm someone who can overcome these things. When you start to slowly shift your mindset to a powerful one versus a victim one, oh my God, literally your whole entire life changes. Number 6 is to become less outcome oriented and more being oriented. It is, if you live in a capitalistic society where if you're listening to this or watching this, you probably do, we're so outcome obsessed. It's too much. And trust me, I'm all about an outcome. I do think that outcomes are important and it's important to go after certain things, but the mindset should be but the mindset is more, who do I need to become to get the desired outcomes? And do I like the process of becoming, or am I just obsessed with the outcome, but I actually don't want to do the work that comes with getting the outcome? Am I over glamorizing this thing that you get, but not really understanding the work that comes with it? Like my friend once talked to me about how you want the work that you do to be golden handcuffs, right? Because whatever you do to get that outcome, like you have to continue to do it. So for instance, content creation, like if you want the life of a content creator, right? The glamorous life that everybody sees, the trips, the brand deals, the money, like, but do you actually like creating content? Do you actually want to learn social media? Or do you just want to go to Costa Rica for free on a brand trip? You know what I'm saying? Those are two completely different things. Like, do you actually want to be a business owner? Do you actually want to figure out how to read contracts? Do you actually want to be fully responsible for all of your time? Number 7 is be okay with the gap. If you haven't heard the Ira Glass speech called The Gap, I'll link it as well. I have revisited that over and over and over again, especially if you're a creative person, because it just so beautifully articulates the fact that like you're here, you see this vision of yourself who's in a different place, and then there's the gap between you and that person. And being able to tolerate that gap all the way to where you want to go, like that is a very difficult process. And that's what transformation is, right? It's, oh, I'm no longer a caterpillar. And I'm also not the butterfly yet. I'm this ooey gooey, nasty little piece of sludge inside this ugly ass chrysalis. Like that is not cute. And that's why so many people just revert to who they used to be, because it's more comfortable to be a caterpillar than actually go through the process of turning to complete goo so that you can be completely transformed into a butterfly. Number 8 is to feel your emotions fully. But one thing that I do remind myself is to be like a buffalo. Buffalo, when they sense that rain is coming, go toward the storm because they know when they go toward it, they're going to be in it for the least amount possible. But as human beings, when we sense pain or any kind of negative emotions, we don't know what to do with it, so we try to run away from it, covering it with our work or relationships or marijuana or alcohol or whatever. Pick your favorite addiction, shopping. It could even be spirituality, right? Instead of actually just facing it. And then that pain just chases us. The storm just chases us instead of just going right through it, just fully feeling it in that moment and trusting that you can handle it. But that is an advanced skill that I could do a whole separate video on later. Number 9 is to surrender to the timing of your life. You are a piece of meat, and that meat needs to be marinated. And you have no idea how long that meat needs to be marinated for. So if you're not getting what you want right in that moment, it probably means that you just need more time. Relinquishing control, not comparing your timeline to anybody else's timeline, knowing that you are in a lane all your own and that all of your unique giftings, all of your new unique traumas, all of your unique obstacles, they're all going to come together in this beautiful symphony that you just have no idea yet. So all you have to do is do the work that you know to do today, no matter how small, no matter how insignificant, no matter if you think that, oh, I should have had this already figured out by now. No, you shouldn't have. You are exactly where you need to be, and everything is going to happen to you at the perfect time. And the 10th and final thing you need to do to make 2025 your most abundant and successful year yet is to stay neutral. You just have no idea what things in your life are actually creating in you the ability to get everything that you want in this life. That breakup that's super painful that you're resisting, you losing your job, all of your friends moving away, right? Whatever it might be, none of them are bad and none of them are good. They just are. And cultivating this sense of neutrality, not suppressing the pain, not saying, oh, this isn't painful. No, it is painful. But having that anchor in the perspective that I am the one who labels things as good or bad. So I have full power and agency over the things that happen in my life, what they may or may not be doing. And also, I trust that there's a version of me in the future who might make sense of my current pain now. And I know that I'm going to have these full circle moments from the moment that I'm having right now. So I have the ability to withstand wherever I am at, knowing that it is cultivating something in me that is necessary to achieve my dreams. Those are the 10 things that you need to have the most incredible 2025. Let's absolutely crush this year. Do the work that we're meant to do. Accept ourselves in every stage. Forgive ourselves, speak life over ourselves, be our own best cheerleader, and witness the magical unfolding of your life. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.